What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bimmer PhD, and it's March Motorsport Madness here at Bimmer PhD. This is where we take precision, engineering, discipline, and consistency and turn it into a result for you folks. Let me show you what we're working on. From our other videos, you may have noticed we purchased this 2012 BMW X5 Diesel for $1,400, and it had a bad motor. The owner said, I've taken really good care of it, but it went into neutral and then the engine just died. And then they could not get it restarted. When they took it to their shop in Orange County, the shop looked at it and said, it needs an engine. When I bought the car, my intention was to understand why this engine came apart. I know it came apart. I know the chain broke, but I want to know why. The why behind it is what makes not just me, but everybody on my team precision-oriented and educated mindset. So let me show you what we've got so far. Now that the engine is out of the car, we've completely tore it down. What we're going to do is show you why it came apart. Now we know that the timing chain failed, it broke. We're going to show you the evidence of these rocker arms right here and the cylinder head of what actually happened. Here's our cylinder head. Here are the other two broken rocker arms, our injectors, and now we're going to get to the root cause of what happened. Let me show you the block. So the block is here turned upside down. This is our CP3 pump. This gear, if you look closely right here, upon further inspection, we found that the gear is broken. So this sprocket's gonna need to be replaced. The sprocket has to come out for the CP3 pump to come out anyhow, but we've got some wear that Ryan found on these sprockets, which turn the entire timing chain assembly. So now that the block is ready to go to the machine shop, I want to show you what we found on the top end. Let me turn the block and show you the pistons, then we'll get to the top end. All right, so we've spun the motor to the top end, and here we can see we don't have a lot of damage to the piston that we can see. 1 and 2 were the ones that broke, and for 177,000 miles, this block seems to be in good condition. All right. Let's move on over here to the valve train where we can see some interesting stuff. Our master technician, Ryan, is going to also explain with me as to what we have found. He did due diligence here and took apart the pump, and Ryan is going to explain what he found when he took apart the pump.
Okay, so inside the pump, I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up well, but there's heavy scoring inside this rotor. The outer rotor. There's also heavy scoring on the outside, which means metal was going through this at some point. Now, the thing everyone wants to know though is what exactly failed. First, this seized. That broke the oil pump chain, which you can see right here.
And we can see that this chain didn't just like snap. Something caused it to lock and break.
Yeah, at the point where that seized, it had to find a weak spot. It happened to be this link, which just tore straight through. Shrapnel from that found its way into the main lower timing chain, which did a very serious number on that as well. We know that this occurred second because we found the area. This was in two pieces on arrival, we'll say. But we can see right here where it did go together and something pinched itself right there. That's likely where the failure point occurred. So this had to have happened as it was coming around. Something wedged itself in, broke here, snapped that off, and the tensioner may have also been a factor because we do see some heavy damage in here, some wear damage.
What's this piece?
This is the timing cover.
This is what we took off to see the timing chain.
Yeah, this.
And you could see. Now, is this crucial enough where we need to replace the timing case, or is this a aftermath that we should be okay with?
There's no cracking through, and this is just a small gusset. It's not crucial. You can see there's some wear in there too where the chain was possibly slapping. So it's likely that that chain had been moving around a good bit prior to failing due to likely extended oil change intervals and this tensioner being worn. The barrels of the tensioner don't look like they've had a bunch of metal forced through them, but you normally don't see a ton of wear on the inside of those. The biggest factor really was just the oil pump seizure causing chain 1 to fail, which led to the actual timing chain to fail, which caused the valves to contact the pistons. When the valves contacted the pistons, it really just kissed them, which I was surprised, because normally when you see a failure like this, you find big chunks of metal, pieces of bent valve, broken valve. I've seen valves snapped off and jammed into the cylinder head sideways. Luckily, we didn't see that there, but the weak link turned out to be these rocker arms. When the piston came up, rather than mashing the valve to pieces, it went straight upward and snapped these rocker arms, which is really what saved this motor. Otherwise, it would have been completely useless.
And like I showed you here, this is the cylinder head. So where we're at now is we've got a teardown. We've got a good understanding of the direction that we're going. We're going to go ahead and take the cylinder head and the block to the machine shop so we can get an evaluation and potentially rebuild this. In the meantime, Ryan and I are going to put together a parts list for the timing chain, the sprockets, and any other parts that we need so we can go ahead and build this motor. But I also wanted to show you the science behind it, right? It's not speculation, it's science. Let me tell you why I think this car could have been saved by whoever owned it previously. Now, yes, the cluster says 10,000 miles. You should go 10,000 miles to changing the oil, but that's only for the factory's recommended intervals. Here at Bimmer PhD, we feel that 5,000 miles is the correct mileage in which to change your engine oil. It's cheap insurance. You can go 10,000 miles, but let me show you what could happen. So here's what my speculation is. You see how much gunk that's gooped up on that intercooler? The intercooler is let's call it a air radiator that cools the air coming from the turbos before it goes inside the engine. So it needs to be leak free. Also, if you look over here, you can see from the amount of oil that we see on the frame and in the engine bay, and also when we pulled this motor, that this car had multiple engine oil leaks. Now, shouldn't the shop that you've been going to advise you on other things on your vehicle? Leave a comment below if you think the shop should advise you, or if you think the shop should just do what the oil change says and move on. Which one is in your best interest? So where we're at, Beamer boys here are going to check out. We're going to work on something else. Let's get this engine to the machine shop. And hopefully you guys have learned something about diesel engines. You can't own a diesel if you're afraid of maintenance. Diesel engines for BMWs were made for long driving conditions so that it can go into regeneration and its emission devices and continue to have great fuel economy as diesels do, great power, but without having the emissions. Okay guys, hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Stay tuned to see what happens at the machine shop and how we put this motor together. If you have any comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.